Every year I'm asked, what do I need to do to start knitting? I want to learn to knit. So this is what you need to start. Knitting needles, yarn, and scissors. That's all you need to start. So you start casting on is the easiest. You make a slip knot, then you're going to hold the yarn between your fingers and make a Y out of it by slipping your two fingers between the two ends of the yarn. To complete a slip knot, you're going to take your yarn, twist it, and then reach over from over the twist and then pull it up through. And that will give you a slip knot. That's the part you put on one end of your needle. And at that point, to start your casting on, you're going to make your needle look like a Y. You're going to slip your fingers through the two strings and pull the needle down until it looks like a Y. The process is simple after this. You're going to go under and then over and then back through the hole that you created and slip it off your thumb and then just pull it tight. You're going to do it again, over or under, over, and off the loop. And continue to do this as many times as you need to until you have the number of stitches you need. Every pattern is different, or if you're creating your own, that pattern is going to be different too. Knitting only has two stitches. The first stitch is the knit stitch. What you're going to do is you're going to take the needle with the yarn on it in your left hand. The yarn that is dangling off of it is you're going to hold it towards the back of the needle. Then you're going to take your needle in the right hand and you're going to slip it in through that first little bar from the front. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull the yarn over the needle on the right hand and then twist it and turn it back through the original loop and then slide the loop off of the left hand needle. You've completed your first knitting stitch. It's that simple. You're just going to repeat it over and over until you get to the end of your row. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to slip your right needle into the loop on the left side, wrap the yarn over, and then twist it back through. Once it's back through, you're going to slide that loop right off the left-hand needle, and you're going to keep going. And you're going to do this over and over again. It's a very simple procedure. The next stitch is the purl stitch. The purl stitch is worked almost exactly like the knit stitch. The biggest difference is instead of putting that yarn that was hanging in the back, now you're going to move it to the front, and you're going to hold it from the front. And instead of going, you're going to take your right hand needle and slip it in the loop on the back of the left hand needle. And you wrap the yarn around the right hand needle, slip it back through the hole, and then slip the loop on the left hand side directly off. Again, you're going to just keep doing this over and over again until you get to the end of your row. Now, the most important thing for purl stitching is it's on the yarn that was in the back for knitting is in the front for purling. So you're basically just switching the direction that you're wrapping your needle. So instead of wrapping the needle from the back, you're going to wrap the needle from the front. It's that simple to do a purl stitch. So again, right hand needle goes in through the back, wrap the right hand needle in the front, slip it back through the hole, and then slip the loop right off the left hand needle. Binding off is how you end the stitching, end your project. It's what you do at the very end. So here it is. You have it set up so you're either going to bind it off purl or bind it off knit. But what you do is you knit your first stitch, slide it off just like you would do, and then you're going to knit the next stitch. Now that first stitch that you have left on the right hand needle, you're going to slip it over the stitch you just put on those needles. And then you're just going to slip it right off, and then you've taken one needle off, or one stitch off. You're going to continue to do this. You're going to knit a stitch, slide it over onto, complete the knit stitch, slide it over onto the right hand side, and then move the first stitch on the needle over the second stitch. You're just going to keep doing this until you get to the very end of your row. Once you reach the end of the row, all you're going to do is clip your thread and pull it on through. That is all that it takes to bind off. Reading a pattern? A word on patterns. Every pattern is different, but every pattern also has their good instructions. They're also going to have abbreviations